If you're starting your fitness journey and have access to a gym, this video is for you. Have these 3 exercises ready to go. Have some sort of mat laid down on the floor. Have some sort of chest press, either a machine or dumbbells, as well as an open spot for some squats. This video is just going to be a super easy beginner workout to follow, and it's going to be step by step. Let's do it. This video is going to sum up the perfect intro to your fitness journey. Now, I always start off with a warm-up. In this case, it's pull-ups and push-ups. Now, I know what you're thinking. You may or may not be able to do exactly what I'm doing here, but that's fine. You find a variation that works for you, whether it be on your knees for the push-ups or even just a hang on a bar. You got to start somewhere, and that's fine. Actually, it's better if you just hang to start off, because if you didn't know, grip strength leads to living longer. If you don't believe me, look it up. So I usually do about 100 push-ups and 30 pull-ups. But if you want to do a timed interval that's easier for you, that's fine. Like, just set a timer for a minute and do push-ups for the whole minute. Just focus on the quality over the quantity. So figure out a good starting line for you. It's a good warm-up. You got to have a warm-up of some kind to warm up your muscles. You don't want to start out being cold, because that's how injuries could happen. The main objective here is to prevent injury, and that's why we're starting the fitness journey in the first place. You want to improve your health. So after the warm-up, which I always do 3 sets, that's my baseline. So 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps is where I usually go to automatically. So I'm starting off here with a medicine ball. I lay down flat on the mat and I grip it with my feet and I push it together. That's called adduction, ADDuction. Now, there's many different ways to do this, and this is a more advanced movement here, but if you want to start without the ball, you can as well. I try to work the abs as much as I can. That's where the emphasis is. So you want to squeeze as you press up. If you want to start off with just a leg lift, that's fine too, which you'll see right here. If you don't have a ball at your disposal, you could just simply start here. I want to always start where you're at. All right, I can't emphasize that enough. You got to start where you already are and then work your way up from there. I'm just showing you the baseline, the formula that I go by. All right, and after that, I take a brief rest period while simultaneously loading up the next exercise. Now, don't go too heavy if you're just starting it off. You got to find a weight that you could do roughly 8 to 12, 8 to 15 reps with. All right. If you've never done these exercises before, you got to start off learning the movement first and then slowly do the progressive overload from there. If you don't know, progressive overload is making it heavier over time, and it's time over tension. So you want to keep progressing the load, hence the name, to trigger that adaptation of your muscles, and that's what builds the muscles. So same thing here. Now this one is less about the weight in your hands and more about your form. Keep your back straight, go as low as you can while staying on your heels. Try to keep your arms as straight overhead as you can. You can see here mine are not as straight as they could possibly be, but for me, it's the straightest they could be. Everybody's got a different alignment. Everybody's got a different anatomy that allows you to do so much for your movements. Just keep that in mind there. Okay, now as we go back into these crunches using the ball, I really want to emphasize working your abs only. So if you go too far down, like if I straighten my legs all the way, for example, like each and every time, and I went low to the floor, I'd be primarily working my hip flexors. So I really want to put emphasis on my core and on the abdominals primarily. With any exercise you're doing, here's a good rule of thumb. You have to keep still the muscle group that you want to build the most. So you want to really emphasize that area. So like for the chest press here, I primarily work in the chest, obviously. So I am imagining my elbows coming together every time I'm at the top of the movement. So because of that, all my focus is in my pectorals. And it might be easier to feel that with a different exercise, such as like a chest fly or something, but the idea is there. So, what's a lot of people don't really remember or even think of with each exercise is what's moving is just as important as what's not moving. In fact, what's not moving might be more important because that's the area you want to isolate, especially with isometrics. Isometrics meaning you're working the muscle without movement, with little to no movement. So keep that rule of thumb in mind. What's moving is just as important as what's not moving. Okay. So here you're moving you're working the abs once again, and you want to keep that crunch in the middle. Obviously, you're not moving your core as much as you're moving the rest of your body because you want to get that full range of motion as much as you possibly can. Whereas in an isometric exercise, you're not moving as much, but the whole muscle group is isolated and working isometrically. Now, here in my third set, I dropped it down quite a bit in weight. I try to go heavier usually because that's what's going to stimulate the most change in your muscles. But I took some weight off because I wanted to get an easy set in towards the end. It's good to switch it up, especially if you're using a machine or an exercise that you don't use very often. So now we're finishing off here with the last set of deep squats. Notice how I'm still, you try to make each rep look the same, right? So once the form starts breaking down, that's a good indication that you should stop. So that's it for today. And what I usually do is I write down what I did just to keep track, just to keep a visual of my progress over time. Hope you guys learned something today. If you liked the video, please leave a like, really helps me out. Subscribe to MevolvE, and I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you want to see another video that pairs well with this workout, click the video right here. See you in the next one.